Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy you're here today. If you love discovering artists who blend elegance, emotion, and pure dance floor energy, then you're going to enjoy this one. Today, we're talking about Jessie Ware, a singer who has quietly, and then very confidently, built one of the most sophisticated careers in modern pop music. Jessie Ware was born in London in 1984, and interestingly, music wasn't her original plan. She studied English literature and even worked behind the scenes in journalism and television before stepping into the spotlight. Isn't it funny how life sometimes redirects us toward something we didn't initially plan for? Have you ever started down one path only to realize your real passion was waiting somewhere else? Her early music career began through collaborations. She lent her vocals to electronic artists like SBTRKT, and that's where people first started noticing this rich, velvety voice. It wasn't loud or flashy. It was controlled, emotional, and deeply expressive. That subtle power became her signature. In 2012, she released her debut album, Devotion. And from the very first listen, you could tell she wasn't trying to chase trends. Songs like Wildest Moments felt dramatic yet intimate. It's the kind of song you play late at night when your thoughts are louder than everything else. Have you ever had a song that felt like it understood you better than anyone else could? Then came Say You Love Me, which became one of her most recognized tracks. It's vulnerable. It's almost pleading. But it's not weak. There's strength in asking for clarity and love, isn't there? Jessie has always had this way of making emotional honesty feel empowering rather than fragile. As her career progressed, her sound evolved. Her second album, Tough Love, leaned more into polished pop production while still keeping that soulful core. But what's really fascinating is how she refused to stay in one lane. Some artists find a formula and stick to it. Jessie, she reinvented. In 2020, she released What's Your Pleasure, and this was a turning point. Suddenly, we weren't just slow-burning soul and quiet vulnerability. We had disco influences. We had boldness. We had groove. It was glamorous, confident, and fun. And it arrived at a time when people desperately needed joy. Isn't it interesting how music can shift with the times, almost like artists feel what the world needs? Then in 2023, she followed up with that. Feels Good, fully embracing this dance-driven, retro-inspired sound. Lush production, big choruses, confidence radiating through every note. It feels like watching someone fully step into their power. And that raises an interesting question. What does it look like when someone truly owns who they are? Beyond music, Jessie has also shown a completely different side of herself through her podcast, Table Manners, which she co-hosts with her mother. And honestly, that dynamic tells you so much about her personality. It's warm, funny, grounded. It reminds you that behind the polished pop star image is someone who values family and authenticity. Speaking of family, Jessie is married to her childhood friend and is a mother of 3. Balancing global tours, album releases, and motherhood isn't easy. It makes you wonder, how do artists manage to stay creative while juggling so many responsibilities? Does having a full life outside of music make the art even richer? What stands out most about Jessie Ware is her evolution. She didn't explode overnight as a chart-dominating pop star. Instead, she built her career carefully, layer by layer. Each album feels like a chapter. Each era feels intentional. And maybe that's the lesson here. Growth doesn't have to be rushed. Sometimes the slow burn creates the most lasting impact. Her voice itself deserves a moment. It's smooth but strong, emotional but controlled. There's restraint in the way she sings, and that restraint makes the emotion hit harder. It's not about vocal gymnastics. It's about feeling. And isn't that what music is really about? If you listen closely to her lyrics, you'll notice themes of desire, independence, vulnerability, and empowerment. She captures the complexity of being human, especially being a woman navigating love, identity, and ambition. And she does it without losing her elegance. So here's something to think about. Do we sometimes underestimate artists who aren't constantly in the headlines? Jessie Ware may not always dominate gossip columns, but her consistency, artistry, and growth speak volumes. Maybe true longevity isn't about constant noise. Maybe it's about steady evolution. And honestly, watching her recent performances, you can see the joy, the confidence, the comfort in her own skin. That kind of self-assurance usually comes from years of learning who you are. It makes you wonder, what version of yourself are you still evolving into? Jessie Ware's journey reminds us that reinvention is allowed. That you can start in soul, move into pop, dive into disco, host a podcast, raise a family, and still remain authentically you. You don't have to fit into one box. And maybe that's why her music resonates. It feels grown. It feels lived in. It feels real. So if you haven't explored her discography yet, maybe this is your sign. Put on one of her albums tonight. Listen with intention. Pay attention to the production, the lyrics, the emotion in her voice. See what it stirs in you. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Jessie Ware's life and career, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Share it with someone who loves discovering artists with depth and evolution. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next story. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me today. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you in the next video.